guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's story, the Hart family. You know, I'm not sure I actually knew about this case when it happened, or maybe I heard about it but didn't know in detail what happened. Literally, when I looked at their picture, I was like, not this family. Somebody must have attacked them or did something. Not this family. I don't even know how to introduce this. It's just, it really broke my heart. God, it broke my heart. Shoot. Just thinking about how these kids were just failed over and over again. Oh my goodness, it made me so upset when I was reading this story. Guys, I hope you're doing well, I hope you're doing good. Let's just go ahead and get into this case. So, we are going to be talking about Jennifer Jean Hart and her wife, Sarah Margaret Hart. So, they are both from South Dakota, and Jennifer originally is from Big Stone City, Huron. So, within their own families, they were both the oldest children. Jennifer had 2 siblings, and Sarah had 3 siblings. And according to her father, Jennifer was not initially raised Lutheran, but was baptized as one. Okay, so the 2 women both began their relationship at Northern State University. Sarah had initially attended the University of Minnesota and then transferred in 1999. So both women majored in elementary education, and Sarah focused on special education. She graduated in 2002 and Jennifer dropped out. So Sarah asked a local court for her last name to be changed to Jennifer's last name, which is Hart, and they got married in Connecticut in 2009. This was a time when same-sex marriage was not legal in every state. On Facebook, they were very, very active on Facebook. Jennifer stated that the 2 women initially were closeted with their relationship, and then when they came out, they lost a lot of friends apparently. They moved to Alexandria, Minnesota in 2004, where your mom's not, that your foster parents are not coming back to get you. Which in a way seems messed up, but honestly probably was the biggest blessing to this girl. Jennifer and Sarah first adopted Abigail, Hannah, Jean, and Marcus from Colorado County, Texas. And in June 2008, they adopted 3 additional children, Sierra, Devonte, Jordan, and Jeremiah. They were adopted after their biological mother, Sherry Davis, lost custody of them due to substance abuse problems in August 2006. And the kids were actually given to their paternal aunt, and she had custody of them, but one day she had to go to work or something, didn't have anybody to watch them, and so she asked their mom to come over to her house and watch the kids, and a caseworker got wind of this somehow, and the kids were then put into the adoption system, and they actually prevented the aunt from having custody, which is devastating. And they actually had an older brother, or they have an older brother named Dante, who was not adopted because apparently he had behavioral issues. So I definitely remember when this photo came out of Devonte. He was 12 years old at the time, so sweet, and he was seen in this photo giving a hug to the police officer in 2014 at a protest in Portland, Oregon, resulting from the Ferguson unrest. This picture became known as the hug felt around the world. Poor baby, literally. Nobody knew really what was happening behind this photo and what this kid was going through. And his mom, looking back at this photo now, just it breaks her heart, because, and we'll get into why the mom feels this way, and I totally agree, but I think those tears, he was crying for a deeper reason, and he was afraid to tell that police officer what was really going on. So Jennifer was very active on social media. She would post all the time to Facebook. This family was often seeing, giving each other hugs and smiling, looked like a super happy family. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I was like, this family, they look like a super beautiful family, right? And they would take trips to different states, go to different festivals, hiking trips, political rallies. They even attended a Bernie Sanders political rally in Vancouver, all wearing matching Bernie Sanders t-shirts. And the kids were always posing like they were super happy, but once that picture was taken, the kids would look lifeless. In 2008, while the family was living in Minnesota, a teacher observed bruises on Hannah's left arm and was told that she had been hit by Jennifer with the belt. Within months, all 6 children had been pulled out of the public school system for a year. And in 2010, Abigail said that she had owies on her back and stomach, and stated that she felt threatened by Sarah and Jennifer, who had beaten her and held her head in cold water over a penny that they assumed she had stolen. Poor baby. Man, when I tell you my blood was boiling reading this story. So when authorities became involved, all children claimed that they had been spanked constantly and deprived of food. Sarah did actually take responsibility for the abuse and pled guilty to the assault and was sentenced to community service for a year. We're talking about beating kids and starving them, okay? 1 year later, Hannah reportedly told a school nurse that she had not eaten all day, and Sarah claimed that Hannah was just playing the food card and recommended that they just give her some water. Soon afterwards, all 6 children were taken out of public school and were homeschooled from then on. In 2013, authorities were notified of the abuse allegations, and their investigations included interviews from every member of the family as well as people who knew the family. 2 family friends these 2 dogs were found inside the family home. So obviously this is something that they talked about, that they planned. Okay. Wow. Damn. Where do I even start? These kids were crying out for help. It's obvious that they were in a very dangerous and abusive home and situation, and these 2 women were proven to be out of their damn minds. And the fact that one of them, I forget her name, not even worth saying to me, honestly, she literally admitted to abusing these kids and got 1 year of community service. You have admitted in the court of law that you're abusing these kids and got punished for it, and here they are doing an investigation, not giving any new news, but you have family friends saying that they're terrified of them. They have to do certain strange things, like raise their hand, and like they can't laugh, or like it's clearly abuse. They're all smaller than they should be for their age. They have gone to their neighbors. Like, why did it take this much? Kind of reminds me of the House of Horror story of those kids. I mean, that one, I don't even want to compare it. Abuse of a child in any way is absolutely disgusting and disturbing. My thing is, why weren't those kids taken out of those crazy ladies' possession? And I would like to know the psychology. I don't even, like, you can say it's money. I don't know. They could have found a different way. They clearly did not like kids. They clearly did not have a maternal bone in their body. Obviously, to me, it seems the only reason why they adopted kids was because of a way to get money from the system. There's literally no other reason, unless you're just trying to make a point that they just wanted to abuse someone. I don't know, but clearly they didn't like kids at all. They weren't making that much money. I mean, one of the girls was a manager at Kohl's. Can't be that much money, while the other one was just a stay-at-home mom adopting a stay-at-home mom. It's just, like I said, you don't have a maternal bone in your body. What are you doing adopting kids? So clearly it's financial reasons. So maybe they were just struggling so much financially that this is their last possible ditch effort, that they couldn't do something else. And then in the end, they were just like, F it, let's just take ourselves out. My thing is this, if you literally sit there and think together of a way to take yourself out, what makes you evil to me is that you decided to take those innocent children out as well. You could have left them in the house, you let them go to the neighbor's house, you could have done anything, but you deliberately decided to drug those babies with sleeping medication and drive them off of a cliff to take them with you. just make her file some kind of a restraining order or some kind of something like I'm not understanding this. Devonte, his mom, when the mom and the father found out what happened to them, they actually said that if it wasn't for Devonte hugging that police officer and them tying him to this story, they probably would have never known the fate of their kids. And Devonte's mom was devastated because yes, she had a drug problem, but she loved her kids. People go through some messed up crap and have to overcome some messed up crap in their life, and those kids should not have been placed in the hands of monsters that abuse them. And the mom, it's so sad because she was like, it took her a year to get to the space where she was mentally able to start her recovery, because when she found out that the kids had been taken because they just she'd watch them for a day, she lost it because she was actually in recovery. When she was watching them, she wasn't actively doing drugs. She lost it and she went back to doing drugs. She went on a downward spiral. And then it took her a year to get out of that spiral. And she was like, I'm gonna get my kids back. I'm gonna get myself clean. I'm gonna do whatever I have to do. So she was actively working towards that. And then boom, to find out that this happened to your babies. Like, rest in peace to those kids. They did not deserve. No kid deserves what they went through. Again, this story was absolutely hard to read. I couldn't believe it. And it, like I said, it just tells one story how devastating it can be for a kid to be in the system